Hello, starting on the left, my name is Jacob Sasate. This is Will Johnson. Over there is Connor Meyer, and that is Will Slingland. So today we're going to be talking about nuclear and its place in U.S. energy infrastructure. According to a study by M.G. Granger Morgan, nuclear energy has for 3 decades produced roughly 20% of the U.S. electric power generation. However, nuclear comes with several issues. These include cost escalation, the storage of dangerous waste, negative public opinion, and proliferation. While these problems rise, nuclear energy development is growing stagnant, as faith and funding for research into nuclear fusion energy development are dwindling. This graph demonstrates the path of cost increase for building patents and reactor management since 1955, and it has risen significantly. Moreover, renewables have the potential to overtake nuclear energy. For example, according to Lozanovia, a communications professional specializing in renewable energy, one new 250 megawatt solar farm can be built every 9 months. A total of 14 utility-scale solar farms within the same decade it takes to build one nuclear plant. But for nuclear to produce as much electricity would require nearly 4 times as much to be built. However, the cost would be just 50% of the cost of the $25 billion volatile nuclear plant. Therefore, with more development, renewables may have the potential to outperform nuclear, despite less being built. However, we have developed nuclear energy far more than we have renewables, which has led to huge investments in plants in the US and other nations. One example of this is in France. Here, they've invested heavily into nuclear energy over other energies. It's important to consider renewables, as continued development may make them a viable alternative towards solving global warming and other issues because of their output cost comparisons as compared to nuclear energy. However, there's still incentive to continue development for nuclear energy, as the eventual fusion reactors that will come with it are very promising. Moreover, we need to keep these issues in mind as we choose our solutions.
So our first solution, we want to use nuclear reactors as an already developed bridge towards implementation of renewable resources and decarbonization. So to explain this solution, we want to use nuclear reactors to steer away from CO2 emissions and non-renewable resources and lean more towards renewable resources such as hydro, wind, solar. As this picture shows, nuclear reactors and then renewable resources as an effect of this. So the pros of this are we'll have a cleaner environment if we implement this solution. We'll have less non-renewable resources and circulation as our main energy sources, and we'll be able to prevent the worst effects of climate change. So climate change is already happening, but if we implement the solution, we'll be able to prevent the worst effects of this. And according to Yale Environment 360, first and foremost, since nuclear energy produces energy via nuclear fission rather than chemical burning, it generates baseload electricity with no output of carbon, the villainous element of global warming. So this shows the benefits of nuclear reactors. The cons of the solution are nuclear reactors are known to be very expensive. There's a risk of meltdown. Although the risk of meltdown is very low in the United States, it's pretty high elsewhere. And storing is another major issue with nuclear reactors because the United States does not reuse nuclear waste, and we have to figure out a place to store this nuclear waste. And the limitations are to convince the public to support nuclear reactors. So as shown on this graph to the right, many people in the populations of many countries started to oppose nuclear reactors after the event of Fukushima, which is a nuclear meltdown. And we have to convince the public to support nuclear reactors. And the implications are we'll have a cleaner environment, and there'll be less mining of coal and oil in the Arctic, which will lead to less threats of animals' habitats, and will be able to prevent the worst effects of climate change.
Now, solution number 2 is to increase funding for nuclear reactors and research. This increase in funding will allow new Generation 4 reactors to be produced and implemented. According to the World Nuclear Association, these new reactors can cut down on reactor cost and implementation time. One such reactor, molten salt reactor, uses molten fluoride as a primary coolant and dissolves fertile and fissile fuels into the salts. According to the CEO of Moltex, a company spearheading MSRs, these reactors are cheaper and cleaner than fossil fuels and can cut down significantly on nuclear waste and improve sustainability. Another reactor type are fusion reactors. According to the World Nuclear Association, fusion energy can create limitless clean energy. A problem arises with fusion, however. According to the World Nuclear Association, Fusion is highly expensive, and a successful plant has not and will not be made in the next 2 to 3 decades. But with fusion reactor centers like Joint European Torus and Tokamak Fusion Test Reactor Center are decreasing implementation time and cost of Solution 2. So the pros of Solution 2 would be there will be fewer carbon emissions emitted by the U.S. The U.S. will have a stable nuclear energy grid. The U.S. will have overall cheaper power, and there will be a decrease in nuclear energy cost and implementation time. Some of the cons would be a huge upfront cost and long implementation time of Solution 2, and it could possibly be too late to implement due to the failing market of nuclear energy in the U.S. Also, public support. According to World Nuclear News, 49% of the population dislikes the use of nuclear energy. Some limitations would be it'd be very limited at the start and hard to find financial support. If we want governmental financial support, then we have to be a huge shift in government funding. Now, some of the implications would be climate change will be diminished. You also have a reliable nuclear energy power grid, and you also have an overall more reliable energy. Now, solution number 3 is implement small modular reactors. According to NuScale, a company pioneering small modular reactors, SMRs are cheaper, safer, and faster to implement than conventional reactors. Reactors are produced in factories and then assembled on site. These reactors are smaller than conventional reactors and encase the reactor itself in case of a meltdown. These reactors would act as secondary sources of power when intermittent renewables are offline, or as primary sources of power in small communities.
So the pros of Solution 3 are low cost. SMRs have very low cost, fast implementation time. The cons of Solution 3 is the novelty of the idea. It's a very new idea, not a lot of research has been put into this solution, and it's not fully implemented, which means there's not a lot of sites that use SMRs, and it's a very scarce market, which means there's not a lot of investors in it. Limitations are lack of research because of the novelty of this idea. It's very hard to find locations to implement SMRs. And implications are we'll have a cleaner environment and less CO2 emissions, and overall, nuclear waste in SMR reactors would be strong against meltdown. And overall, if this solution is implemented, we'll have renewable energy will overtake nuclear energy.
In the end, we chose Solution 1, using nuclear reactors as an already developed bridge towards the implementation of renewable sources and decarbonization. We chose this as the best solution because it contains both the benefits of both nuclear and renewable sources with less of the drawbacks. According to Chariclea Caracosta, a research associate working at the University of Athens, today there are several opportunities for renewable energy sources, RES, as well as for nuclear technologies to contribute to mitigating climate change to promote sustainable development, or SDG. Using nuclear energy as a bridge would allow us to continue using nuclear power as a long-standing environmentally friendly base, while more renewable plants such as hydroelectric, wind, and solar are built. We did not choose Solution 2 due to negative public opinion, meltdowns, cost, and potential for renewables. We did not choose Solution 3 because the novelty may make it difficult to implement quickly. Solution 1 will keep our emission levels down using nuclear power, while we replace fossil fuel plants with renewable ones. This plan is also cheap, as it doesn't require the building of more expensive nuclear plants, just the continued operation of those already in place. Overall, this plan takes the best of both worlds with a strong base of already standing nuclear power and the best long-term replacement of fossil fuels with renewable plants such as solar, hydroelectric, and wind power, which would bring our carbon emissions from our energy grid to zero. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I got a couple questions for you, and we'll just go straight across. So first, Jacob, reflecting on the work that the other 3 guys did, which one had the biggest impact on your understanding of your problem? Like, you guys sort of presented solutions to a problem. Whose research would you say articulated that problem best?
I would say that it was definitely Connor's, just because I looked at it at an international perspective and a political perspective. So I kind of looked into how people thought about nuclear energy, not as much as like the potential for nuclear energy and maybe the fusion and other types of reactors there are. This really helped us when we decided on Solution 2 and 3, because they helped us pick out like which reactors would make this work and how this would be viable. So it was a really big change in perspective, as mine didn't have anything to do with exactly what reactors there were and how it could develop over time. just how people thought of it and how it has worked in the past.
Okay, good. And then, William, in what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of working with these guys?
So when we started to choose the topic, we wanted to choose nuclear energy. I didn't want to do nuclear energy, and we all had to agree on this topic, nuclear energy. And as I was able to work with them on nuclear energy and learn more about it, I was able to kind of grow into the topic and learn how to do research for something I was very unfamiliar with. I was able to learn from the other three on how nuclear energy works and how to construct a good slideshow. We also met multiple times outside of class. We did calls at home, and we met at lunch, and we were able to work together. And this is something new for me. We don't usually work. I haven't usually worked outside of class for projects, and to be able to work outside of class helped me.
Terrific. Connor, what is an example of a compelling argument from one of these guys' reports that you guys actually decided to exclude from your TMP, and why was it excluded?
Now, William Johnson did the environmental aspect of nuclear energy for his IRR, and one of his arguments that he researched was the complete ban of nuclear energy. And the reason why it's so compelling to us is because of nuclear energy uses uranium as a main source of power, and the mining of uranium is highly unsustainable and produces toxic gases as well as CO2 in the air. Even though nuclear energy is sustainable in itself, the mining of nuclear energy is highly unsustainable. And also public support, as I said, 49% of the population dislikes the use of nuclear energy. And that was really compelling to us, but we decided to refute this instead of solution number one, because solution number one was a better alternative, because we still would slowly turn down all the nuclear reactors, but we still have them in operation, and there would not be a huge economic drop or power drop like there'd be in the complete ban.
Okay, good. And then finally, William, what was the strongest counter argument to the solution you guys ended up picking, and how is it that you refuted that counter in order to basically sell your idea in the end?
Yeah, so the strongest counter argument was a complete ban on nuclear power, but we decided to refute that because it's been such a large part of our energy economy for so long that it wouldn't be totally practical to ban it.
Okay, good. Terrific.